Who bought 15 tons of gold in April? We're going to talk about that in this video. Also, there's a number of other supportive factors that we're going to cover that again lead us to believe that silver and gold are headed towards higher prices. I got a letter from a friend in Holland. He had translated this newsletter that he had received talking about silver and gold, and I want to share some of that with you right now. So thank you for being here. If you don't mind, please give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe. If you want to leave a comment, you need to be a subscriber, and you're always welcome as a subscriber here in Ron's Basement. So I want to read this to you from my friend Luke. I'll leave it at that. He said, I'm sending you a translation of a free newsletter from Jack Hoogland. He's a Dutch analyst, and he says, we gold beetles, have you ever heard us referred to as gold beetles before? I've heard silver bugs, gold bugs, but anyhow, we gold beetles have to be patient at the moment, and soon we'll make nice profits. And it will be important not to take profits too soon. Have you ever experienced that? You buy something, you wait patiently, then it starts to go up, and maybe it gets back to the price where you bought it at, and you sell out just to get your money back. And then over the next year or months, maybe even, it doubles or triples in price. Hey, I've been there, okay? I'll raise my hand. I've had that happen to me. Let me know in the comment section. Have you ever sold too soon? If you have, write, I sold too soon in the comment section. Know that you're not alone. Happens all the time, happens to a lot of people. None of us has a crystal ball, but I think it's important with the metals that we remember when they do really start to take off. And we're gonna talk about some factors that lead us to believe that gold and silver really can take off here in the near future, that we don't sell out of fear when things do start to really take off. Think, oh man, I'm going to sell now, so I don't. There's a concept you can apply called sell half and hope that you're wrong. Meaning sell half of whatever you have that's gone up precipitously and hope that you're wrong. Hope that the remaining half that you hold on to goes up even higher. A friend of mine who was a high-level trader at a company here in St. Louis called A.G. Edwards. It's Wells Fargo Financial now. He shared that with me. Hey, a good point. Original Intent says dollar cost averaging works for selling as well as buying. Thank you, Original Intent. That's a great point, and that's kind of what I'm talking about. Sell half and hope you're wrong. Sell a third and hope you're wrong. Hope the remaining 2/3 that you hold on to continues to go higher. Emotions, guys, really get involved when you're buying and selling, whether it's precious metals or stocks or anything else, right, that you're buying as an investment. So you don't want to get shaken out. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. Hey, I appreciate all the thumbs up. We're already at 46. We got 125 people on a noon, 127 people on Saturday. Thank you for being here. How do you guys like this idea that we are the Mr. Rogers neighborhood for gold and silver enthusiasts? And it's a beautiful day in our neighborhood. Now, I got a lot I want to cover with you in this report. So let's start to dig in, and then we're going to talk about at the end who bought 15 tons of gold in April. Very interesting. So this newsletter from Jack Hoogland, again, he's a Dutch analyst, he says it's really striking how much the current price development of gold resembles that of the period leading up to the outbreak in 2019. A few weeks ago, Jesse Felder posted the graph below, which clearly shows this. So this compares price action in 2019 to price action right now. And as you can see, as you look at that, it's very, very similar. We are now in the same correction as just before gold broke out from 1365 resistance in June of 2019. So in 2019, it was fighting against 1365, but it's the exact same pattern. After which gold hit hard through that resistance. We know that we're at 1977 right now, right? So gold's not getting killed too bad. Another important similarity with 2019 is, this is very interesting, super interesting, that media attention for gold is now extremely low. And that's very positive. I know, like you think, oh, well, the media is not paying attention to gold. Nobody's talking about gold, right? That's bad. That's bad. No, that's good, because gold is doing very well. It's not too far away from its all-time high. 5%, 6% below? And that's without any help from the media. So think about that, right? While at first glance you may think, oh, that's not good for gold, that the media is not paying attention. No, don't forget, right? Listen to Mr. Rogers. That's good, because guess what? When the media does pick up on gold and silver, what do you think's going to happen? It's going to really make it take off. What do you think's going to happen when more than 1 in 500 people in the United States start to buy gold and silver as an investment, did I say buy? I meant to say more than 1 in 500 people in the United States convert their fiat unicorn fart dust paper money into real metals, real gold. It's going to be a flood of new money. If the media, Americans are most, and not you and me, right? We're awake, right? Our heads out of the sand. But most Americans just believe whatever their television tells them. So if I'm sitting in the family room, I've shared this with you many times. When I wake up in the morning, I am not in a good mood. I come downstairs, I'm drinking my coffee, and then Susie, my wife, that Susie, who's supposed to bring me coffee when I ring that bell, nonetheless, she turns on the Today Show. When I hear the Today Show talking about gold and silver, that might be when I start to think about dollar cost averaging out of some of my mining stocks or out of some of my physical silver that I own, right? When all the ducks are quacking. Do you know who Ross Beatty is? He's like a mining legend, a super quality great guy. He founded and is the chairman of Equinox Gold. He says the time to sell gold and silver is, this is funny, are you ready? When all the ducks are quacking, right? When the people on the Today Show are talking about how gold and silver can protect your wealth, that's maybe the time to start thinking about selling. Okay, back to this great report we have from Jack Hoogland. Jack then goes on to say, at the same time, we see that the world's best investors, that would, I guess, include you and me, right? And hedge fund managers are becoming positive about gold, which is even more positive. So there's no media attention on gold, and the world's top investors are getting positive on gold. Now, I'm going to tell you more about that in a second. I just want to look through the comments to make sure nobody's having a breakdown or has an urgent need. Crypto Ninja Pay says, with BRICS and the movement going in the U.S. demand, gold is definitely increasing. Sharon Johnson's joining us from the Ozarks. We love that. Trevisio's from Michigan. Wow. Mr. Ronald's neighborhood. Yeah, it's all about Ron. I put you on mute so I could take a drink because people complain about my gulping. Now, let's get back to these high-level hedge fund sophisticated investors, people besides you and me. We already know, right? But think about that. We're with the sophisticated crowd, Hey, or maybe they're with us. They're here in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood for silver and gold. I won't say that, but 2 more times during this live stream. I'm going to repeat that. At the same time, we see the world's best investors and hedge fund managers are becoming positive about gold. Prolonged rise. In the tweet below, Bridgewater Capital's CIO. Do you know who Bridgewater Capital is? Do you know who Ray Dalio? Ray Dalio founded Bridgewater Capital. It's like the biggest hedge fund in the world, commonly accepted as being some of the world's smartest and most sophisticated investors. Their CIO, their Chief Investment Officer, that's the guy who makes the final decisions about where they invest their money. Listen to what he said. He said that gold is on the verge of a sustained rally. That means silver price too. We know that, right? So gold and silver, they're like big brother and little brother. And here we see an important difference with 2019. Meaning in 2019, all the smart hedge funds, they weren't into silver and gold. So here's this tweet from Jack. It says, geopolitical turmoil is not going away. This is a slow-moving secular support for gold. Meanwhile, gold is primed to continue attracting investors, gold and silver, as a hedge against purchasing power erosion. De-dollarization means gold is underrated and has a long way to run. That comes from this geopolitical turmoil is not going away. This is a slow-moving secular support for gold, Bridgewater's co-CIO said. Okay, so the smartest guys in the room are talking about gold, right? Because on top of the macroeconomic reasons, high debts, right? We know more debt in the world. Last night I heard 370 trillion with a T, trillion dollars. That doesn't even count derivatives. All of that is backed up by silver and gold at the base, a tiny little bit, like less than 1% of all the debt and derivatives and everything else is backed up by silver and gold. That's why the price could explode, but I'm not saying it is, because on top of the macroeconomic reasons, high debts, interest rates lower than inflation, Bridgewater now cites geopolitical unrest as an extra important factor. What they're saying is, on top of everything else, right, that creates a positive story for silver and gold, on top of everything else, there's a bonus. And it's not really a bonus because we don't want the world to be in geopolitical turmoil, but we're not casting judgment. We're just looking at reality and what's going on, and there is huge geopolitical turmoil in the world. So that's on top of everything else. Guys, I got to remind you, take a deep breath. This comes from Bridgewater Capital. If you don't know who they are, read about them, spend 30 seconds, and you'll be like, oh, okay, that's legit, right? That's like bigger money, smarter money than Warren Buffett, right? And I like Warren Buffett. It seems like a nice guy, but these Bridgewater Capital people are dead serious. Dead serious. Hello, my friend. I'm trying to see. I can't. Noel, yes, great to see you. Ron's basement needs a trolley. Hey, you know what? I got to show you. I've got a trolley. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. That's funny you say that. Where's my other trolley? Ding, ding. Here it is. I'm coming back. I'm coming back, guys. I'm coming back. Look at that. That's the Ron's Basement trolley. That's the Silver Express. I actually made this when I was in college. I was depressed because I broke up with a girlfriend right before Christmas break, and for some reason I made this wooden trolley out of balsa wood and painted it and everything in my mom and dad's basement. And I was going to give it to her. Anyway, I never got around to that, and I kept it here. Now, yes, I have a trolley. Thank you. I've actually got another one too. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. I've got a, what's the, I got to be quiet. Stacks. Okay. Hey, brother Neil. Thank you, Neil. Great to see you. Hey, Susie. I get myself coffee and nobody else. That's my wife, Susie. That's Susie's house. Hey, we're almost at 200 people. Thank you. We've got a lot more to talk about regarding silver and gold, okay? This gets even better. Many countries prefer not to hold dollars. We know that's going on in their currency reserves, and also have little confidence in other currencies. Okay, so they don't want to hold dollars right now, but they don't really want to hold other currencies either. They're probably not real keen on rubles or the Chinese. What is it, the yuan? But the people call it something else too, like 3 letters. Anyway, so what are they going to go to? Does anybody have an idea? I want you to put it in the comments section. Let's see who can get it first. If a country doesn't want to hold reserves in dollars and they don't want to hold reserves in other countries' currencies, what other options do they have left? Huh? What other options do they have left? And when we get to 100 thumbs up, I'm going to give 10 rings on the bell. You know that's the fact. Let's see who got it first. Oh boy. Sorry. I'm slow on the gold. Yes, I think Tim Schmidt's the winner. Echo Leaf got it. Bitcoin and gold. Yeah, their own currency. Good point. Gold, silver, Echo Leaf. Good point. Silver as well. I like it. I like it. Skittles. That's a good one. All right. So isn't that interesting? That all led to record high gold purchases by the central banks. Now, let's talk about another factor that's going to drive silver, gold, and for our good friend, we're going to say platinum for Neil as well. Higher. Okay? Higher. And one more factor. And again, this is coming from Jack Hoogland. He's a Dutch analyst. He puts out a free newsletter. Fibonacci, technical. I'm not a techie. I like to look at charts, and some people really believe in it. I don't know how you feel about it, but on a technical basis, based purely on technical analysis, Fibonacci analysis, a breakout through the 2050 resistance level in gold leads to a rise towards, are you sitting down? 3,000. And then it gets even better, 5,000. Wow. That's what we have to look forward to. In a tweet here, it says, the more times, this is important, the more times an asset tests resistance, the more likely it is to take it out. And gold has been testing that resistance now 3 or 4 times, meaning when it takes it out and starts going, it is really, really going to move. So we've got the technical guys on our side as well. For gold, all signals are green based on macroeconomic analysis, right? The debt, the deficit, the screwy financial situation of the world. We'll just call it that. The can kicking contest that's gone on over the last decades. So from a macroeconomic level, do you think gold's in good shape? Yeah, it is. Geopolitically, mic drop, right? We know geopolitically things are screwed up out there. We got 100 thumbs up. 10 rings of the bell. And from a technical perspective, we just covered that. The technical guys say gold is ready to fly. So we see the perfect picture here is what he says. Gold and silver will boom in the coming months. And gold and silver share prices will rise at least 3 times as fast. Wow. What a great piece of analysis from our good friend Luke. Thank you, Luke, for sharing that. What do you guys think, huh? I think we're in for some good times in the silver and gold market. We're going to see how it all plays out. I'm going to look through the comments here and see what we've got going on. Hey, Ron. Hello, B to the studios. Jerome the Troll under the bridge. What on God's earth is going on? Ron is roaming around in his boxers. These are khaki shorts. What are you talking about? Boxers. Look. See? I was working this morning building a lemonade stand with my daughters, so I had to put on some work clothes. I don't know if you guys have ever put together a lemonade stand for kids, but yeah, it's work, and I'm not complaining. By the way, my local coin shop has no issues testing platinum. Interesting, Neil. All right, guys, if you have any questions or comments, please, all caps, all stars, and we will cover them, okay? Now, let's talk about what do you think it means when 90 million Americans, yes, 90 million, are having trouble paying their bills, and things are only getting worse. We got to remember the silver price and gold price have been battered, have been facing a big headwind because of the hawkishness from the Federal Reserve, right? When the economy slows, and it is slowing, what did we hear from Home Depot this week? Slow, 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 right? And that was like the stalwart. They're going to open the floodgates again, and money's going to get printed, and the silver price and gold price, on top of all the other factors. I mean, what do you think when you consider that within the context of all the factors we covered from that awesome piece of analysis from our friend Jack Hoogland from Holland? When they open those floodgates, it's gonna be absolutely crazy, right? 90 million Americans, they're using their credit cards, right? Their savings are gone. They don't have any savings. All their stimuli that they received from the government back in 2020 gone. Now they're racking up credit card debts. We had another astounding trillion dollars of consumer credit, a record. People are living on their credit cards, not sustainable. Everything feels like it's coming to a head, especially this summer. The Fed is going to have to freak and turn back. You know, CoinShop Chris and I were talking about this last night. I think we were offline when we were talking about this, but it's weird how lately there's been radical moves, not just in the price of silver, but more from the demand perspective. It seems like we're seeing like demand for silver was crazy 4 weeks ago, right? You couldn't find it, or it was hard to find, and you were paying astronomical premiums. And now the premiums haven't gone down everywhere that I'm looking around, but demand, there's a lot of supply of silver. When things are moving, think about this. If something's steady, you know, like a ball rolling across the floor, but think about when they're going radically up, radically down. Things that go from being radically up to radically down tend to bounce back. And I mean, we're seeing some big moves, which to me indicates we're going to be in for some good times, right? And we know all the other factors going on for the silver price and the gold price. You know, should we even believe, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but do you ever notice how, like, have you ever noticed how the Fed has been wrong about everything? This guy. Well, first it was her, right? She was at the Fed, and she was wrong. She was dead wrong, right? About a lot of stuff. And then you got this guy who came along, not supposed to open this. Hey, everybody, I was wrong. I was wrong about when I was going to raise interest rates. I was wrong about inflation. It was never going to happen. Then it was temporary. Then it was transitory. And now it's a big problem. And now I think I can fix it. I mean, think about that. Think how wrong these guys are. And how can they even fix something that they said was never going to happen, never going to come around, right? I mean, they're so wrong. But everybody, just like the most recent things they say, everybody just believes them. Have you noticed that? Right? They don't know what they're doing. So when they're saying, look, you know, they're talking about, they don't want to talk about cutting rates. And that's going to be huge for the silver price and gold price, right? For those of us that have converted our fiat into precious metals. So when he says, that Oh, we're not thinking about cutting rates. We're not. Remember, that's the same guy who just 2 years ago was telling you he wasn't going to raise rates until 2023. Do we need to be reminded that 2022 was like the fastest interest rate cycle in history? Like over the last 14 months, rates have never been raised that quickly. They've been higher, no doubt about it, but not that quickly. And I don't know. You know what's going on in the banking system. I mean, do you believe what's going on in the banking system? Do you want to know what's going on in the banking system? The banks are all sitting on a bunch of assets that aren't worth what they're saying they're worth on their books. It'd be like if your wife gave you $100K and said, here, this is for little Johnny's college fund. He goes to college in 5 years, and you bought some stock, and that stock went down half in value, and your wife said, how's the stock doing? And you said, it's doing great. I'm not selling it yet, so we'll just continue in our minds to think it's worth what we paid for it. Wrong, it's not. The banks are sitting on a bunch of toxic assets. And, some people, I don't know how you see it, but, I know one thing for sure. If everybody wanted their money back from the banks right now, the banks couldn't do it. And some people think that we are going to see more difficulty in the banking sector in the coming months. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Oh my gosh, we almost forgot to talk about the elephant in the room. The elephant. Think about this. The world has, I heard last night, 370 trillion. More commonly, we like to hear $305 trillion in debt, right? All of that backed up, like less than 1% of that backed up by gold and silver. Okay. Remember, gold and silver are real money. Everything else you think is money is nothing but unicorn fart dust. There you go, Coin Shop Chris. I said it for you, my friend. Now we need to raise the debt limit, right? There's a crisis. There's a crisis because if we don't raise the debt limit, just turn on Good Morning America or come join me here for a cup of coffee. You can overhear Susie's Today Show, whatever the heck it is she watches. Oh, the debt, it's going to be a catastrophe. And it's like the lead story, right? Social Security payments won't go through. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to go grab some water. I'll be right back. Don't leave me. I'm going to keep talking to you. I'll be right back. I'll be back. I will be back. So they're saying that Social Security payments possibly would be missed, right? They're saying that government employees, government services would be stopped. And it's such a big deal. I don't know. It seems a little fishy to me, the whole thing. It just all seems a little fishy. And then we have our president leaves the country. And not to mention what's going on. They're talking about F-16s. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right what's going on to me. Does not seem right. Have you guys heard about the ASEAN countries? ASEAN? I mean, we have beat the BRICS thing to death, right? De-dollarization, moving away from the dollar. That's good for the silver, the value of silver and gold. We're not going to say price because that measures it's in dollars and unicorn, dust. We're going to talk about the value. We beat the BRICS thing to death. There's two other big things going on. The ASEAN countries, that's the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Vietnam, Thailand, there's like 10 of them, right? These rapidly growing. They came out, they just had a big meeting. They're kind of like their own little BRICS, but they're called ASEANs. They're moving away from the dollar. proclamation, agreement. We got to get away from the dollar. You got the BRICS and like the rest of the darn world at this point away from the dollar, right? St. Petersburg, later next month, mid next month, like a month from now, less than a month, big economic forum. There's going to be 81 countries there, and they're going to talk about, you guessed it, moving away from the dollar. I mean, what does this mean, right? We got to be. What's it going to look like 2 years from now? I don't even want to say potentially, right? And I don't want to be all doom and gloom. We just want to be prepared. We want to have our head out of the sand. What's it going to look like 2 years from now? When we look back, right? Are we going to be the people that look back and say, oh, it should have been so obvious? I mean, some people are talking about hyperinflation. I listened to this awesome Scottish economist last night. I think it was on Small Cap Channel, it was called. He just laid it out. It's like, there's no way to avoid what's going on, right? And he's like, I don't want to be doom and gloom. I'm just being a realist on so many different levels. What are we going to think back? What do you think it's going to look like 2 years from now? We don't even have to look out 5 or 10 years. What's it going to look like 2 years from now? What's the world going to look like? What's the dollar going to look like? You know, we all hope and pray that like major conflict doesn't break out in the world. I don't know. Are you afraid that that's possible? Let me ask you that in the comments. Are you afraid of major war? If you are, write war. Oh my gosh, I just remember my wife Susie, it bugs her how I say war. Hey Susie! Susie! No, it's either war or war. She doesn't like the way I say it, but apparently she's not on the live stream anymore. Are you afraid of war? Paul is. Original intent. Yes, I am. Especially when I think about my kids. War. War. Is it war or war? Help me. Because it drives my wife crazy. Extreme hyperinflation is in our future. Once the money comes back, this is from Hasta la Vista Adventures. From all the other countries, we will see massive price hikes on everything. Buy silver and gold now while there's still time. War 3. Rick Carruthers, that's why they're leaving. Interesting. Not afraid, but prepared best I can. Thank you, Snakebite. Good to see you. Fred Flintstone. We have Fred Flintstone with us. Oh my gosh. Fred Flintstone is in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. For those of you who haven't seen, that is my handmade trolley. Look, there's even benches I put in there. I was going to give that to my college ex-girlfriend. I don't know why I broke up with her. Who knows? A little drama king when I was younger, apparently. But, you know, have you ever been heartbroken? I broke up with her, and then I was heartbroken. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, war. Second war, you're saying. Give Susie more hearts. Last call. Texas has applied for BRICS. That's interesting. Texas? Gold and silver, I mean, if this Texas gold-backed digital currency goes through, I'm all for it. You may not agree with me. You don't have to agree with me. But I think it will be rocket fuel for the price of gold and silver. I think Texas is leading the way, the Lone Star State, okay? And I heard somebody commented on one of the videos and said, Texit, like Brexit, but Texit, like Texas is going to leave the Union. Texas has applied for BRICS. The other funny one, and it's getting a little old now, is, but, you know, when's the United States going to apply for BRICS, right? War. Hold on a second. War? Yes. Or war? War. War? Okay, it's war. Susie, I'm on the live stream. I know, but I have to get something. Okay, Susie's coming down. It's war. War. Okay. Now I'm distracted. Our good friends at TD. Excuse me? Daddy. What? I'm on a live stream. What do you need? Sorry, my daughters.
I'm sending a popsicle.
A what?
A popsicle.
Oh, you say hi to the world?
Hi.
Wave. That's my daughter, Lily. She's having a lemonade stand. Did you sell anything, Lily?
What?
How much lemonade have you sold?
I don't know, but
Couple cups?
probably more.
Okay. All right. Anyway, TD Securities. TD Securities. Oh, this is interesting. Did you hear what TD Securities said about the gold price and by default the silver price as well? Lily, Tim Schmidt says hi. She says hi, Tim. Did you hear? Everybody loves Lily. Lily, and for those of you who don't know, I have identical twin redhead daughters. So there's another one that looks exactly like that named Evelyn. And they like to gang up on me. And then they have a third sidekick. Her name's Susie. Yes, that's Susie. The one who, this was her Belle's little girl, is supposed to run coffee down when I ring that bell. We're going to talk about TD Securities because it's fast. Our good friends at TD Securities said the gold market sell-off is nearly done. Prices will be heading to new all-time highs. New all-time highs. We almost have 300 people in here. This is awesome. Which activated a new long gold trade at 1994. They were a little early on that, but nonetheless, we long active gold at 1994, anticipating imminent selling exhaustion and rising discretionary interest to support the yellow metal towards new all-time highs. How do you like that? How does, tell me in the comments section. I tell you what, type high, H-I, if you are ready for a new all-time high. If you think we're going to see a new all-time high in gold within the next month, I think we are. Type high, like high. I'm trying to save you. Type in 2 letters, right? I'm very much about it. Somebody said hi. Wow. Marshmaz, Fred Flintstone, Echo Leaf, Snakebite, Pick Graphics, Kay Underwood, Sharon, Annie Oakley, Cool Paul, Debbie, Ninjan, Kodaz, Marshmaz, Chris Coin Shop, Chris, the one and only. We've got a new video coming out tomorrow morning. Make sure you watch that. Hasta la vista. Look at all these highs. Greg Sanford, American 180. Wow, guys. This is awesome. Sandeep, how different is platinum from gold for investment? You need to talk to Neil from Neil's Han Dynasty. He is the platinum guru, and we're at 300 people. And now we're back to 289. What'd I do? I didn't burp or fart on you or anything, guys. Come on. All right, platinum, $1 trillion coin. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but it might. It just might. Okay. Gold. And I want to point this out because it says this in the article. 2 things. They're seeing gold at $21.50 per ounce. I think that puts silver at, I could see silver in that scenario going to $31. You may not agree with me, but I see it going to $31 under that scenario. The Fed rate hike expectations remain in limbo until the Fed dot point pivot, blah, blah, blah. There's strong support around 1965. Yeah, we know that. We still expect 2150, but that won't be sustained until the later part of the year when it comes more certain that the Fed will ease. Let's not forget, guys, I heard a lot of people crying. Were you sad this week? You know, what were you sad about? Were you sad about? Let's talk about what I heard a lot of people sad about. People were sad that it was a rough week for precious metals. Hey, look, gold ended at what, like 1970, I think it was? Had a good day yesterday, right? Bingo, bango. We're not that far off the recent all-time. I mean, we're not that far away. We're like $80, $90 away. We're still right now in good shape. Let's be grateful, right? We're still in pretty darn good shape. Silver is undervalued. So much upside to it. Great investment today. Yes, it is. I agree with you 100%. Hey, guys, if you're here and you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I put out a new video every day, and it's guaranteed to help you keep your mental sanity and have an unbiased look at what's going on in the world and in the gold and silver market. So subscribe. It's free. And if you want to give me a thumbs up, I don't think we've ever had 200 thumbs up during a video. All you have to do is press the thumbs up. That would be awesome. Instead of being sad, go buy low. Yeah, I agree with you, Seb. I was looking last night because I was kind of getting the itch to maybe buy something silver, gold oriented. And you know what I found? I found that my local coin shop, they were still charging like $29 for most of the sovereign coins. The premiums seemed to be ridiculous. So I was like, I'll wait. And I've done a lot of my buying in the past. Absolutely. Had a great conversation with the Louisiana gold guru, our good friend Buddy Rumble from Louisiana this week. He foresees $2,400 per ounce gold and $38 silver by the end of the year. We hope he's right. But we talked about some interesting subjects, the gold confiscation that occurred in 1933, how challenging that would be under today's scenario. Do you know you could get put in jail if you didn't turn your gold in back then? It was really, really crazy. Yep. Going to be interesting what goes on with the banks. Going to be interesting what happens with this debt ceiling. You know, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I just think it's weird that Biden took off for Japan. We've got big movement going on in the war in Ukraine, however I'm supposed to say it. And then we've got this banking crisis brewing. We have CBDC coming around. You know, a lot of people have said that they would try to roll out the CBDC under the cover of a crisis. Let's just hope we don't have too big of a crisis or too bad of a crisis. Now, I don't know how you feel about this, but I've got a good feeling about what CBDC will do to the price of silver and gold. Because think about this. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I challenge you because I'm wrong all the time. But if CBDC comes out and there's no more cash, right? Nobody uses cash anymore. Doesn't that mean that silver and gold are basically the last option for financial privacy in the world? I don't know. To me, it does. Interesting. Very interesting. All right, let's go through why the Fed has already moved. Andrew Hosty says, please explain why the U.S. Fed has already moved to Texas. I didn't know that was the case, Andrew. That default is the perfect fuse that leads to a CBDC. Hey, Susie, good to see you. That's awesome. Susie's on there. I had the best wife in the world, guys. I'm spoiled. I'm just absolutely spoiled. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. She's put up with a lot. Great woman. You didn't have to turn in your numismatic coins. Yes, that's true, Hindo. That's right. Gold will rocket once the Fed announces their debt plan. Yeah, the debt, it just doesn't work, guys. It just doesn't work. The debt, all the obligations, it doesn't work. It's not going to work. The only way it works is if they nominally works, right? Right? $100 is $100. But if it's worth a third of what it was, and that's the only way the system works going forward. I think it's important to protect, I'm not giving financial advice, but I think it's important to protect with silver and gold. 174 likes. Hey, can we get to 200 likes? Come on, man. I'd really love it. I only do this because I injured my nose, but I will ring the bell with the tip of my nose when we get to 200 likes. That will be awesome. Hey, Daryl, you're welcome. You're welcome. If anybody wants me to say hello to you, say hello in the comments, and I will say hello to you. Back up the truck on First Mining Gold. Yes, I have done that. I'll be right back. I'll be there. Don't leave. Don't leave me. Oh, we got to talk about this. This is probably one of the most interesting things we're going to have happen here in the next month. I need to survey you. Okay, this is the big one, the big kahuna. Hey, we got 200 thumbs up. You guys are awesome. And then I have a survey for you. Hello, Noel. I said I'd say hi to everybody. Hello, John Sal. Hello, Snakebite. Hello, Echo Leaf. Hello, Coin Shop Chris. All right, if you said hello, Hindo from the UK, that's awesome. Hello, Noel. Noel says, thank you to Susie for sharing Ron with us. Trust me, the pleasure is all hers. She has a good sense of humor. Hello, Echo Leaf. Hello, Original Intent. Hello, John Saul. Hello, Paul. Hello. Ron is gone. No, Ron's back. Hello, Annie Oakley. And I got a survey for you guys because I think this survey is the biggest thing we've got coming in the next, 4 weeks? We got two big things now that I think about it. Hello, Paul. All right, guys, I promised I'd ring the bell with my nose. I'm a man of my word. I will humble myself. I'll do a double ring for 200 thumbs up. Up. Ow, it hurts. Ow. God, now it won't ring. There we go. Woo-hoo. I got to stop doing that. My nose is going to be flat. Okay, so when we think about the biggest things that are going to impact silver and gold in the coming 4 weeks, we got two things. This debt limit deal, we got three things. The war in the Ukraine, which could get worse. I hope it doesn't, but it sure doesn't feel that way. And, a lot of people are suffering because of that, but I won't go down that rabbit hole. The other big deal will be the debt limit, right? Will that get resolved? And we've already beat that one to death, right? The big kahuna, June 14th, we're going to get the Fed's next interest rate move. Will they pause? If you think they're going to pause, give me a PAWS for pause. If you think they're going to raise, give me a RAYS. Because it is, I think, that is the pivotal fulcrum, whatever you want to call it. Chris P says pause. Fred Flintstone says raise. Marshmaz raise. Original Intent. Snakebite winner chicken dinner. Paul raise. Neil says raise. No more nose dings. Yeah, I know, man. It hurts my nose, man. Daniel Robinson raise. Pause. Linda Rader raise. Echo Leaf woof. I think that's pause. Dennis Paulson Razor. Gary B to raise. Wow, you guys are seeing raise. Debt limit won't be resolved. They can't stop spending. Good point. 0.025. Marshmaz, raise. Seb, Sharon, Daryl, raise, pause. Looks like we got more raises than pause. Wow. So, but the market, I think there's like a 60% chance that there's going to be a pause. C130 thinks menopause. It's going to be interesting, but that's probably the most pivotal thing that we have coming outside of the, how do I say this, more event-driven potential debt limit, debt crisis, debt ceiling, and escalation of the situation in the Ukraine, which for the good of all of us, we hope doesn't happen. Hey guys, thank you for being here. You're the most important part of Ron's Basement. I'll be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. I've got a whole new interesting set of things to talk about. In the meantime, have a great weekend. Give the video a thumbs up, and if you want, you can go to the channel Ron's Basement and watch another video. I'll see you soon. Thank you.